No, not running a fever. Oh, my forehead's fine. Blood pressure's fine. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review. And yeah, we're reviewing Money in the Bank 2021 from, yes, World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. And yeah, they had a damn good show. Not only a good show from start to finish, but it actually had a great surprise ending. We're going to talk about that here because I am absolutely shocked right now. It's when we get into the show proper, though, that things really start to take off. And the opening match was the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It wasn't a bad match. It was actually pretty entertaining, although there were some things that didn't work in it. But the definite highlights in this match were Naomi. She was a highlight. Asuka was a highlight. Tamina looked like a beast in the match. A couple other people look pretty good. This is the first time for me seeing Nikki Cross's new character as a outdated superhero gimmick. I'm waiting for the Hurricane to make a cameo appearance at some point in time. But, it was fine for what it was. But the finish is what really got it for me, because the finish is something that I have been wondering for a long time in wrestling, especially these ladder matches. It's been why all the people get at the top of all these ladders and they start slugging it out. Why doesn't somebody just stop fighting and just grab the damn briefcase or the championship or whatever's hanging over the ring in this ladder match? Well, in this match, they actually did it. Nikki ATM, or whatever the hell her name is now, not quite the superhero as they got over in the commentary, won the Women's Money in the Bank match, and of course now that means she can drop it at any time to challenge for the Women's Champions on Raw or SmackDown. It wasn't the only great women's action tonight. One of the matches that I thought for a minute was going to steal the show was Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, which was a really great match. Character-wise, performance-wise, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, both of them just really performed well in this match. And this is one of the things I like to see in wrestling matches, when you can see that the competitors, the performers, are pushing themselves beyond their limits. And you saw that in this match. The storytelling was great. Even, there's one spot where Charlotte tries to put her feet in the ropes and the ref just looking at her like, really? It's just fun stuff like that. It told a really good story. I enjoyed it. Charlotte picks up yet again another women's championship. And this is one of the titles. I will remember this title win probably more than most of the other ones that she's had. And I think she's over a 10-time women's champion at this point. But this one is definitely memorable. This was a well-done match. For all the people that said Charlotte's been sandbagging, I didn't see it in this pay-per-view, so congratulations to the Nature Boy's daughter for getting yet another women's title. AJ Styles and Omas defended the tag team championships against the Viking Raiders, or whatever they're called now, War Machine, whatever the hell they are. This does bring up one little nitpick of the night, is that it's some of these matches, who was supposed to be face and who was supposed to be heel was kind of confusing, because it kind of felt like Omas and AJ were supposed to be heels, but they were booked as faces, and the crowd cheered them as faces, and the Viking Raiders didn't really work like heels, so that was a little weird. Same thing kind of happened with the Alexa Bliss in the opening women's match, where she was supposed to be the heel, but the fans were really behind her, and especially after all the ladies stacked all the ladders on top of her and buried her underneath all those ladders, but whatever. And the same thing in this match too. A little bit confusing, again, for somebody like myself who is a casual WWE fan, doesn't watch the weekly shows, just kind of watches the pay-per-views when I catch them. But it was an okay match. It was an entertaining tag team match. Again, a little nitpick here, it is very obvious that Omas is green. And he's great on offense, but he is not good at all on defense. He is not great at taking hits and taking bumps. It looks awkward. They need to work on that. But the caveat with that is that I remember when Braun Strowman was like that, and Braun Strowman improved. So hopefully Omas will improve. But, they kind of exposed some of his weaknesses as a performer in this match. But he does wind up getting a pin and retaining the titles for him and AJ Styles. AJ, I love the storyline with the two of them. We all kind of have an assumption of where it's going to go with the eventual turn one is going to turn on the other one, and we're going to get an Omas AJ Styles match, probably slated for probably around WrestleMania sometime, maybe before that at Royal Rumble. I would look for Omas to do very well in the Royal Rumble coming up next year, and possibly also Survivor Series. Imagine the team that gets Omas. Yeah, you're seeing one of those Undertaker, Roman Reigns kind of Kane performances where he just wipes out everybody, but then gets knocked out by some fluke. But they're going to have to work on his defense and him taking bumps, or at least even just taking hits in the future. But overall, you know, minor nitpick, it was a decent match. Now here's where things get a little iffy, because the men's ladder match for the Money in the Bank briefcase, Peacock just went cockadoodle on me and interrupted the match. I tried to restart it and missed half of the match. I'll have to go back and watch it again. I did catch the last 2 minutes of the match to see Big E win the ladder match, win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and now, of course, he's going to be challenging one of the two champions. The thought right now is it's going to be for the World Heavyweight Championship, given what happened earlier in the night. But that was pretty cool to see. Big E, that's a feel-good moment. He's one of the few wrestlers in WWE that you really do root for. They are very lacking in that sometimes, but Big E is definitely one of them. And the crowd loved it, the announcers loved it, I loved it, Big E loved it. I did nothing wrong with that. Hopefully, if I'll go back and watch the ladder match again, it's as good as it seems it was. Ricochet was doing his usual crazy stuff in this match. Matt Riddle has some great facial expressions. Everybody performed well in this match from the little bit that I saw. So I'll go back and watch it and give a full assessment of that maybe later down the road. Speaking of the men's matches, so the World Heavyweight Championship was defended by the almighty Bobby Lashley against Kofi Kingston, and they did a recap, and it was a good thing that they do these recaps, because I don't watch weekly WWE TV. I thought it was a pretty good story that they were telling, that Bobby Lashley was kind of doubting himself as a champion because he gotten a little bit too soft, and Kofi and Xavier Woods were taking advantage of that. But now, on this night, Bobby Lashley was going to come out and show that he wasn't soft. Now, the real confusing thing about this is that the New Day are supposed to be faces. Bobby Lashley is supposed to be a heel. But again, I found myself, after watching that intro package, just wanting Bobby Lashley to beat the snot out of Kofi Kingston, which is what he did. This was a route. This is not the route that Kofi had against Brock Lesnar, where it was one move and it was over. This was Bobby Lashley beating up for like a good 7 minutes or however long that match was, Kofi Kingston, and it looked pretty brutal. Really cool thing too that Corey Graves pointed out on commentary is that when somewhere near the end of the match, Lashley had the hurt lock on Kofi Kingston and was kind of moving him away from the referee so he couldn't tap because he wanted to punish Kofi Kingston. Kofi got an ass whooping tonight. Like, that is an ass whooping that he's gonna feel for a long time. And kudos to Kofi from a performance standpoint for taking all of those bumps, because he was bumping like a boss for Lashley, and it just made Lashley look like a freaking monster. A lot of people say Roman Reigns is unstoppable. Lashley is up there with him too. If we do get a Survivor Series match between the Lashley we have now, which is the best Lashley I've ever seen in his time in WWE, past, present, and Roman Reigns, who's the best Roman Reigns we've ever seen in WWE, past, present, I'm all for that one. I'm starting to see some things lining up for WWE that I might actually have an interest in. So this is all a good sign at this point in the pay-per-view for me. I'm enjoying it all. Of course, Lashley won. Finally, mercifully, the match ended with another hurt lock, and Kofi finally allowed Kofi to tap out. Lashley is dominant, and of course, we saw the reason why for this, because now Lashley is going to have run through the New Day, Big E's old friends, and now Big E most likely is going to challenge Lashley for the World Heavyweight Championship. The main event came up, and to be honest with you, and I've seen different opinions on this in the last 5 minutes, but the main event was okay. It was kind of a little bit of a letdown from all the great stuff we had seen earlier in the night. My favorite two matches of the night were Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, and what I saw of the men's ladder match. But it's not to say it was a bad match, but Roman Reigns versus Edge for the Universal or Blue Universal Championship was what we expected it to be. It had its good moments, it had its bad moments, but Roman Reigns is so good in what he's doing right now that it kind of outweighs the fact that the match probably wasn't all it could have been. But it was a good match for what it was. They threw in a lot of chicanery, a lot of good stuff, properly done run-ins. Seth Rollins' run-in was good. The Usos' run-in was good. Them meeting up the Mysterios again, saying that's going to continue. That's also good. I thought all of it was fine. It sets up Edge versus Seth Rollins in the future. Possible match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins too, which is also very interesting, which I thought we were going to get because of Seth Rollins, there was a distraction spear, and Roman Reigns winds up pinning Edge and retaining the WWE Universal Championship. Then something very strange happened, and they were standing in the ring, and I was like, what, are we giving an end of the night speech? I thought I was watching WWE, not New Japan. What is this? And Roman does give an end of the night speech. I was like, well, that's new. That's a different wrinkle. WWE usually doesn't do that, but okay, I'll accept it. It's cool when they do it in New Japan. I guess it'll be cool here. But I should have known better. Because again, I'm kind of out of practice with watching WWE, that if they were doing this, that meant something big was about to happen, and yes, something huge happened. Dun, 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 dun. John Cena and his hair have come back to WWE. The last time we saw John Cena, he was basically put out the pasture by Bray Wyatt, who's been put out the pasture himself. So a year and a half ago at WrestleMania. So Cena, after a year and a half, is finally back after going out and competing with his long-lost brother Vin Diesel, Dom, and Fast 9. The biggest superstar of the 2000s for WWE has made his return and is facing the Tribal Chief, and you can just see the anger seething out of Roman Reigns as Cena is bouncing back and forth, still wearing them jorts, still wearing them shirts. But it was just awesome because the cool thing about it is when you don't, even if a character like Cena, who most people just, I guarantee you in about a month or two, if he stays around for like 3 months, people will hate him again. But because you haven't seen him for so long, it's like, oh, yes, somebody I recognize, something fresh and new that I didn't expect. And it was cool to see Cena back. There was no real confrontation or even stare down between the two of them. They kind of pulled a play from Impact's pay-per-view where they did the Impact kind of did the same thing the night before when they introduced, for the main event world champion, they introduced somebody from his past and then cut off the show before the stare down could even happen. Same thing here. Cena climbed up on the ropes. He kind of looked over. He had a brief moment with Roman. We're on cue to his music. He did the "You Can't See Me" thing, and the fat crowd went crazy. And yeah, I think this is brilliant. This is the reason I think it's brilliant. Not that the match is going to be great, but it is a rematch from, I think it was 3 years ago maybe, when Roman and Cena had a match on one of the C-list pay-per-views. Well, like, it was out of nowhere, and everyone's like, really? You're putting Roman and John Cena, this like WrestleMania dream match, on some D, B, or C-list WWE pay-per-view? And they did. Roman won that match as kind of a passing of the torch thing, because Cena was on his way out anyway. But now Cena's back. He's been talking about it coming back for a while, and he's finally made his appearance here. It was a big shock to everybody. One of the biggest shocks of the weekend. Topped the weekend shocks. It did. And yeah, we went off air, and I guess we're going to be looking on social media to see the fans who were in attendance who recorded whatever happened after that. But I gotta say, that was very well done. I like the idea and the story of Roman versus Cena for SummerSlam, as long as Roman Reigns wins. Now this is where things get crazy here, because we've been here before. WWE puts on a good show, and then me and a whole bunch of other fans, the fans who have discerning taste, go, okay, they put on a good show. Okay, now can we keep putting on good shows? And then about a week goes by or 2 weeks go by and they're back to the same BS again. And you're like, God, all right. I'm hoping that's not going to happen this time. And I'm hoping above hope that there is not some play that they're going to put the title on Cena. Because Cena's going for, quote unquote, a record-breaking 17th World Championship, which actually doesn't break the record, but whatever, who cares? It's a WWE record. They're all fake anyway. So Cena's going, they're even fake for the fake world of wrestling fake, okay? So Cena's going for a 17th World Championship, which would break Flair's record technically. Roman taking him down after taking down Edge, after taking down Daniel Bryan is a good story. If it continues on with him taking down, I think the ultimate thing would have to be The Rock at WrestleMania. I know Lesnar's got to be included in there. You got to do Lesnar again at some point because of the Paul Heyman connection. So I'm all for this. It's a big time main event. It's it's the first time in quite a long time that WWE has a big marquee main event that even as cynical as some of us can be about what they do, you want to see it. You're going to watch it. You're going to watch Roman Reigns versus John Cena. You're not going to watch it. Unless you really, really hate the WWE, then you're not going to watch it. But I'm going to watch it because I'm a wrestling fan and it's a big time wrestling match. Again, I'm not expecting much out of it, but I like what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I hope they don't ruin it by, for some reason, I don't think they're putting the belt on Cena because Cena's not going to be around that long. But this is a good cash grab for them, a good way to hype up SummerSlam. Is a super mega huge event. And overall, Money in the Bank 2021, best WWE pay-per-view I have seen in a long time. But this pay-per-view, from the pre-show to the surprise ending, return of John Cena, I got no complaint. I got very few complaints about it. It was a fun show. You had two bangers from what I've seen in the show. A lot of people, I'm still looking and seeing a lot of people saying that the men's Money in the Bank match was pretty damn good. Again, I'm gonna go back and watch it. And Rhea, Ripley, and Charlotte was, I think, one of the best matches in the night, one of the best matches of this year. Shocker of shockers, I am recommending you go watch WWE Money in the Bank 2021. No, I don't have a fever. No, my blood pressure's not up. Everything is fine. That's what it is. And I know there's probably some idiot out there going, I don't see, now you can stop watching all that AEW and New Japan stuff. WWE, you like WWE again? Yay, just watch WWE. Actually, what the problem, and I'm guarantee you guys out there who are on social media, because I'm not going back on there again, but you're probably going to see somebody go, well, I don't know why you guys are acting like that, because this is what they do all the time. It's the same stuff they always do. No, it's not. They're kind of like the people on, like, if you ever watch Hell's Kitchen from Gordon Ramsay, when he blindfolds the chefs and has them do a taste test to test their palate to see if they can tell the difference between chicken and pork, and half of them can't do it. They eat pork and go, it's chicken.
A nice slice of filet mignon.
Chicken, chef.
Oh, Christ almighty. What is that?
Chicken, chef.
Oh, smoked mussels.
Octopus, chef.
Octopus.
I've seen some of them already going, it's the same stuff they always do. No, it's not. The show is a lot better. It had nothing to really do with the crowd or the entrance ramps or all the stupid virtual reality 3D crap they kept throwing on the screen. It had to do with the fact that they made a solid show that was mostly about the wrestling matches. I didn't have too much silly BS going on. There weren't too many stupid finishes. A lot of the storylines in the matches made sense. The conclusions of the matches made sense. And to top it all off, they brought back one of the biggest wrestlers of the last 20 years to his home place in WWE to have a standoff with the guy that is running the company now that he was supposed to have passed the torch to 3 years ago. That's a great show, no matter what company you're in. And I'm happy to see WWE doing this. Because what it means is, for the last 7 days, all the major wrestling companies that have put on shows over the last 7 days have all knocked it out of the park in their own ways and their own styles for their own fans. WWE, NXT, Great American Bash, AEW Dynamite, Impact Slammiversary, Ring of Honor's pay-per-view last week, the 2 shows New Japan ran the last weekend. All of those shows have been good shows. It is a rare week in the world of wrestling and sports entertainment where all the companies put on great shows for their fans. So cherish this week. No need to go, well, that one's better than that, and that surprise is better than this, and this was better than that. Who gives a crap? All of them were good for their fan bases. As a wrestling fan, you should be happy. The same way a movie fan should be happy if there's 7 blockbuster movies that come out and they're all good. Let's be happy for 1 week, wrestling community. Let's enjoy the fact that we got great shows across the board for 7 days straight. I know it's not going to happen, but at least I can say it. But I want to know what you guys thought about this. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Until then, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely share this video on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, wherever you talk about sports entertainment and WWE. I'll see you guys next time for more possibly shockingly surprising reviews and news here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.